I just woke up and found my left hand tied with a gold necklace. The other end of the chain was bound to my sworn enemy, who is also my childhood friend Xie Yaqian. Without a second thought, I immediately pulled this woman up. "You idiot, what are you doing? How dare you sleep in my bed?" Xie Yaqian didn't look sleepy at all, and didn't even seem too surprised. She just slightly curved her red lips with a smile on her face as she looked at me. I raised my left wrist. "What is the meaning of this vertical bar? Untie it for me right now." I showed her the gold necklace. Xie Yaqian's emotions suddenly became agitated. "You want to go find Yuan Diandian again? Don't even think about it. Don't you ever hope of seeing her again in this lifetime?" I scratched my head and asked, "Yuan Hu Diandian? Who is she? Why would I go looking for her?" This time it was Xie Yaqian's turn to be stunned, but it lasted for only a second. She quickly recalled what I had done before. Seeing that she didn't answer, I observed my surroundings. It was a huge room. Looking at the decor, you could tell it was the very expensive kind. Xie Yaqian thought I was about to go crazy again and spoke up sarcastically. "What do you want to do? Want to grab a vase to smash my head again, or do you want to—" I didn't listen to her. After a quick assessment of my surroundings, countless questions popped up. "Where is this?" "Your house." "But I remember your house didn't look like this. And why am I here? Why am I tied up together with you? Why are we sleeping in the same bed? What did you do to me? This gold necklace is an alloy, right? It's probably not real gold, is it? You don't know where this is? This is the house you bought behind my back, hiding it from me. What is the meaning of this?" Suddenly I saw something strange. A line of text appeared out of thin air. Here it comes, the mail. "Lead is starting to pretend to have amnesia again to trick his villainous wife, poor President Xi." My heart goes out to her for a second. How long can he pretend this time? I bet not more than a day. The female supporting lead has definitely seen through it. This is already the third time. The female supporting lead definitely won't believe it anymore. "By the way, is Yuan Diandian online today?" "No, she isn't." Underestimating the female lead. What's so good about her? Can anyone look at our poor villainous wife? Male lead, female lead, villainous wife. I understood every single word, but putting them together sent a shiver down my spine. This absurd feeling. Have I traveled through time? No, that's not right. I am still myself. The woman opposite me is my childhood friend, Miss Xi. Xie Yaqian and I hadn't gotten along since we were kids. "You don't remember Yuan Diandian anymore? Then what do you remember?" I didn't answer her question. "Am I married? You are my wife." "How is that possible?" "Xiao Chen, if you want a divorce, it's absolutely impossible. I will never let you and Yuan Diandian be together. Even if I die, don't you ever hope of being with Yuan Diandian. I'm not even 20 yet. How could I be married? The papers must be fake. This marriage is illegal." "How old are you this year?" 19 years old. Xie Yaqian's pupils dilated and her heart skipped a beat. Then she calmed back down. "Xiao Chen, I don't want to waste time with you. Stop acting. You've pretended to have amnesia so many times. You might not be bored, but I find it a waste of time. Stop going to find Yuan Diandian. She doesn't truly love you." "Amnesia? I don't have amnesia. Yesterday I just finished running the 800-meter race at the sports meet and won first place. While boasting to you, I got my leg broken. But looking at the current situation, it seems like there are things I don't remember." Xie Yaqian's expression grew more and more uneasy as she listened, her eyes locking dead onto me. "Xiao Chen met Yuan Diandian not long after that. If Xiao Chen really lost his memory, saying he didn't know Yuan Diandian just now makes perfect sense. You are not 19 years old this year. You are 26 years old this year. We have been married for 4 years, 4 whole years. I don't believe it. I am clearly only 19. Furthermore, why am I married to you? You previously said that even if all the men in this world vanished, you still wouldn't like me. I'll temporarily believe you today. If I find out you're lying to me again, next time it won't just be a necklace used to lock you up." I looked at the chain and asked curiously, "Xie Yaqian, is this chain real gold or an alloy?" "It's real gold, but it's 18-karat gold and pure gold has low hardness." "Then it's still an alloy. You got my hopes for nothing." Xie Yaqian's voice became a bit softer. "Whatever you want to buy, just tell me. I'll buy it for you. Did your personality change? Or something? Before, when I wanted to ask you for some pocket money, it was so difficult. You even said your money belonged to your husband. Now you're being so generous. Right now you are my husband. How could I marry you? Is there something wrong with you, or is there something wrong with me?" "You're not lying to me, right, Xie Yaqian?" Took the marriage certificate from the head of the bed and threw it over for me to see. It's real, the kind with an embossed seal. I looked at the date on it, 22 years old. We got married right in the year of graduation. The morning, sunlight streamed through the large floor-to-ceiling window. Yakian sat in the dining room, her gaze drifting across me aimlessly. Aunt Wang said politely, "Young master, breakfast is ready." I looked at the breakfast on the table, my eyes lighting up. Yakian quietly observed me. While eating, I called toward the kitchen, "Aunt Wang, your cooking skills are amazing." Aunt Wang poked her head out from the kitchen. "As long as young master likes it, eat more if you like it." I really like it. As I spoke, I stuffed another bite of pan-fried bun into my mouth. This kind of happy expression on Chao Chen's face, how long has it been since I last saw it? What if this is just pretending? In a split second of thought, the tenderness that almost overflowed was instantly covered by frost. What if Chao Chen just wants to let my guard down, so he can leave me once again to go find Yuan Diandian? I will give Chao Chen a chance. I will wait, observe, and judge. This thought was like a venomous snake, coiling around Xie Yaqian's heart. She put down her coffee cup. If Chao Chen wants to trick me again, the custom-made golden cage in the basement has always been missing an object to keep inside. I wouldn't mind letting Chao Chen move in there. I suddenly spoke up. Yaqian, why don't I remember your family being this rich before? This villa isn't cheap, right? Did you earn it? How much money have you made these past few years? Chao Chen never used to ask about my assets before. He didn't care about anything of mine. Chao Chen only thought about Yuan Diandian, only cared about Yuan Diandian, and wanted to please Yuan Diandian. Xie Yaqian took a deep breath. It's not expensive. Just over 300 million. Right now, my assets are also worth a few hundred billion. My eyes had been wide open since hearing 300 million. Hearing that she has a few hundred billion, it felt like my eyeballs were about to pop out. This is way too rich. I put down my chopsticks and looked at her seriously. You said we are legally married now. Right, I want to divide the marital property. Hey, half of your assets belong to me, which means I am a billionaire too. Right now, it's not very convenient, or should we go back to the room? Since Xie Yaqian and I are already married anyway, no matter what happens, I'm not losing out. My smile was radiant without a single hint of gloom. Xie Yaqian saw my joyful expression and couldn't help but smile along. Did he really lose his memory this time? No, before this, even if Chao Chen pretended, he couldn't hide his disgust toward me. No way, I still have to observe Chao Chen more. We have a prenuptial agreement. A prenuptial agreement. If we divorce, you will have to leave empty-handed. My face immediately fell as if struck by lightning. You actually guarded against me, Xie Yaqian. I didn't expect you to be this kind of person. You disappoint me too much. When we got married, you were the one who actively proposed it. I proposed it. Why was I stupid? To act all noble that I didn't even want money. Because Chao Chen back then didn't truly want to marry me at all. Chao Chen back then was just hurt by Yuan Diandian and reluctantly agreed to marry me. The prenuptial agreement was also something Chao Chen insisted on signing. He kept emphasizing to me that we were only a fake married couple. How did we get married? And also, who exactly is Yuan Diandian? I continued to ask. Right as I asked this question, my eyes looked toward those comments again. Chao Chen hubby Yuan Diandian is your wife. Please, his wife is Xie Yaqian and it's legal too. Wife Z and hubby Chao Chen are a match made in heaven. And you people want the female supporting lead to take the throne. I'll fight to the end. The third wheel doesn't deserve to be the female lead. Humph. Wait until the male lead remembers he'll definitely return to the female lead. You clowns, stop breaking the official CP, okay? From these comments, I understood that perhaps myself, Xie Yaqian, and that whole Yuan Diandian person are the love-brain male lead, villainous wife and cheating female lead in a novel. But what does this girl look like to make me willing to self-harm for her? Xie Yaqian hesitated for a long time. Before speaking up, Yuan Diandian is your first love. Because of her, you always deceived me with all kinds of tricks and all kinds of lies. Why did I sign a prenuptial agreement? I really am an idiot. Xie Yaqian, seeing me like this, said, Chao Chen, you lost your memory early this morning, and now you're cursing yourself. Do we need to call the family doctor over? I shook my head. No need, I am very fine, Z. Yaqian caught all of my abnormalities. Too strange. Chao Chen's actions today are all very strange. Could it be that Chao Chen secretly contacted Yuan Diandian? Did Yuan Diandian say something to Chao Chen again? This amnesia thing. Could it just be an elaborately staged play? Is the purpose to make me lower my guard? But everything seems to have gone back to the old days. Back to when Chao Chen hadn't loved Yuan Diandian yet. Xie Yaqian's gaze turned cold. The suspicion in her heart grew like wild vines. Xie Yaqian finished breakfast. The company still had matters to handle, so she was preparing to go out. I still hadn't finished eating. Seeing Xie Yaqian about to go out, I followed her and casually asked, "Where are you going?" "To work." I nodded and said, "I forgot." "Then where do I work?" "You are not allowed to go out." I raised my head and said, "Why do you think I'm lying to you? Your credibility with me is not high. I really don't remember the things of the past 6 years. I don't even remember if that Miss Yuan is round, or square, or who she is. What else can I even do? Since you've forgotten, then obediently stay at home. You're not allowed to go out. Don't think about running away. There are bodyguards in the house." Xie Yaqian's eyes were full of disbelief as she spoke. "My phone. I've agreed not to leave the house, so you must also give me an entertainment tool. I'll have someone bring a new one to you in a bit." I smiled and made an okay sign to her. Xie Yaqian had just taken one step out the door when she told the bodyguards, "Keep a close eye. Do not allow the young master to go anywhere. And absolutely do not let him meet anyone, especially Yuan Diandian." "Yes, President Xi, President Xi." Tonight, there is an extremely important bidding session between the Z Corporation and the UN Corporation, along with many other companies participating in the bidding. Xie Yaqian's assistant stood beside her, reporting today's work schedule. The assistant also already knew about my situation this morning, and couldn't help but feel a bit worried in her heart. Every time the young master plays this trick, it's always to help the UN Corporation steal projects. Although the UN Corporation's rivals don't just include the Z Corporation, the Z Corporation is their strongest competitor. The assistant also already knew about my situation this morning, and couldn't help but feel a bit worried in her heart. If they can eliminate the Z Corporation, then no one can contend with the UN Corporation anymore. If there's something, speak bluntly. President Xi, could the young master be pretending just to make you lower your guard, and then pull off a big stunt at the evening party? The young master has sabotaged the Z Corporation's contracts many times already. But President Xi always dotes on the young master very much, even though they've lost a lot of profit, and the shareholders in the company have a lot of complaints. She still refuses to divorce. The young master really has bad eyesight, not seeing such a good wife, yet having to go chase a terrible girl. It's really not worth it for Xie Yaqian. If there really is such a situation, you should prepare a backup plan. No matter what happens, this time we must win this project, rather than letting the young master's actions disrupt your plans. President Xi is right. At home, after eating and drinking my fill, I lay back on the bed. I have to say, this bed is truly massive. The sheets and pillows are all made of soft, smooth silk. The mattress is also super soft and has smart adjustment. I feel like I don't even need to go to the living room anymore. Previously, the Chao family and the Xi family were just well-off families, so they could afford this furniture. But it definitely wouldn't include a villa this huge. I still haven't figured out how this Xie Yaqian girl actually got rich, and how she could become so successful. I looked at the comments that were still scrolling continuously. They were all unimportant things, along with some nonsensical words, with no real information, so I was too lazy to look at them. Not long after scrolling, the new phone popped up with a message. "Cao Chen, today's project is extremely important. You must help me hold Z Yaqian back. Wait until I defeat the Z Corporation. Then we will get married." While I was confused, I looked up at the comments in the air. The female lead still has the nerve to trick the male lead. The male lead will definitely agree. He loves the female lead so much, but maybe not. The male lead has amnesia now, who remembers she's the female lead. The male lead's amnesia is still uncertain. What if he's faking it to trick the villainous wife? Today's project is very important. Whoever wins it will leave the other far behind. Praying the male lead doesn't cause trouble again. This time I finally understood. Turns out the person texting me is that terrible girl whose appearance I can't even remember. I rolled over and continued scrolling on my phone. About 10 minutes later, there was still no reply from my side. Only then did Yuan Diandian realize something was wrong and started using sweet words to coax me into working for her. I got annoyed and blocked her. Yuan Diandian didn't expect me to block her. Why am I blocked? Is it because I've been too cold to him lately, Yuan? Diandian immediately sent me a few more sweet messages, roughly trying to say that her relationship with other men was all fake, just a cooperative relationship, and in her heart she only loved me. Making money is to marry me, and even this project is so that she can treat me better in the future. I replied to the other party, transfer me 5 million to show me your capability. Yuan Dandian instantly changed her attitude. Qiao Chen, you've changed. You didn't used to be such a materialistic man before. You used to be pure innocent and kind like white snow. Have you been staying with Z Yakian for too long and got influenced by her? No, you must stay away from her. Right now I am working hard for our future. Why can't you help me and understand me? I frowned, falling into self-doubt, thinking to myself, would I really like this kind of basic girl? In the end, did I travel through time or lose my memory? But no matter what, I couldn't possibly like this kind of basic girl. Too lazy to talk nonsense with this foolish person. I just blocked her phone number completely, then turned back to continue playing on my phone. On the way to the bidding venue, Nanny Wang called Xie Yakian. Hello, Aunt Wang. Before Z Yakian could finish speaking, to ask the reason for her call. Miss, the young master is constantly vomiting at home, and his stomach hurts so much that his whole body is rolling on the floor. Where is the family doctor? Just called him, the doctor is coming soon. The young master wants to call an ambulance, but the bodyguards won't let him, saying they need your permission. Tell those idiots to call 911 right now. If anything happens to the young master, all of them can pack their bags and leave. Call 911 immediately. Not daring to delay any longer, Yakian hung up the phone and ordered the driver to turn around. President Shi, our bidding session is about to start. The young master happens to have a stomachache right at this time. The assistant sitting in the front seat reminded her. I know what you mean, but to me, Qiao Chen is always number one. Even if every time he cried wolf it was to trick me, I will still continue to believe him the next time. Qiao Chen can make trouble and trick me countless times, but I can't not care even once. I am not a lucky person. I cannot lose Qiao Chen, nor can I bear the pain of losing Qiao Chen. The assistant opened her mouth intending to advise further, but in the end she only replied with vertical bar. Yes. The black Rolls-Royce, which was about to enter the bidding hall, turned at the intersection ahead, suddenly turned around and sped toward the Z family mansion. Xie Yakian took a deep breath. It wasn't that I hadn't thought about it. This could be another elaborately staged accident. The timing this time is just too coincidental. The purpose is probably to disrupt my attendance at the bidding session. But I can't. I can't take that gamble. I don't dare to bet. Even if the story of the boy who cried wolf plays out 100 times, I will still, on the 101st time, run to Qiao Chen's side without a single doubt. The phone vibrated right at this moment. It was a text message from Aunt Wang. The ambulance has arrived and is taking the young master to the hospital. The assistant, quickly on her tablet, handled the postponement of the bidding session. Z Yakian kept looking out the window as the car braked hard, in front of the hospital's emergency building. Xie Yakian, almost the exact second the car came to a complete stop, rushed inside. In front of the emergency room door, Aunt Wang and a few bodyguards were waiting anxiously. Aunt Wang saw her. Miss, Xie Yakian's voice was visibly trembling. Where is the young master inside? The doctor is examining him. Xie Yakian walked up to the emergency room door. Through the glass pane on this door, she could only see figures moving back and forth inside. She clenched her fists, forcing herself to calm down, then turned to look at the bodyguard standing with his head bowed beside her, who stopped him from calling an ambulance. Her voice wasn't loud, but it was like ice. A tall, stubborn bodyguard took a step forward. Ma'am, you previously gave instructions that if anyone wanted to use emergency communications or call a car to go out, they needed. What I need is for you guys to guarantee his absolute safety, not to make him endure the pain. Xie Yakian interrupted him, suppressed rage visible in her eyes. If something really happens to him, which of you can bear the responsibility? The bodyguards were as silent as cicadas in winter, not daring to defend themselves anymore. Just then the emergency room door opened, and a doctor walked out. Xie Yakian immediately stepped forward. Doctor, how is my husband? Acute gastritis. The patient is too thin. He usually eats very little, but this time he ate too much all at once. His stomach was overloaded, causing severe spasms and vomiting. Medication has been administered, and the pain has now subsided. He's on an IV and under observation. It's nothing serious. Don't worry. Her hanging heart finally settled down, followed by a wave of weakness and exhaustion. But more than anything, a sense of relief. Xie Yakian breathed a sigh of relief. Thank you, doctor. Can I go in to visit him now? Yes. But the patient needs to rest now. Please keep quiet. Yakian nodded gently, pushed the door, and walked in. On the bed, I was closing my eyes, my face still a bit pale, with an IV needle inserted into the back of my hand. The clear solution fell drop by drop slowly. Hearing the sound of footsteps, my eyelashes fluttered slightly. I opened my eyes and saw it was her. A flash of complex emotion passed through my eyes, seeming like surprise, and yet like something else before being covered by a layer of weakness. "Don't you have an important meeting?" My voice was a bit hoarse. An imperceptible gleam flashed through Ji Yaqian's eyes, her voice unusually gentle. "How did you know?" "The villainous wife suspects. The male lead might have purposely called her away from the bidding session. The villainous wife was prepared, even if she isn't present. Her proxy is no pushover either. The male lead just needs to cry, and the villainous wife will run over like a puppy. Rooting for the villainous wife to lock up the male lead love to see the confinement trope. I originally intended to explain to Ji Yaqian. After all, in my current memory, Ji Yaqian is the only one I am familiar with. Today my phone received a text message, telling me to hold you back, saying there was some important meeting. Ji Yaqian, you have to believe me, I really have amnesia right now. Even if we don't get along, I wouldn't help others against you. Not to mention I don't know her right now. Even if I did know her, I couldn't sabotage your career like that. Ji Yaqian was deeply moved by my words. If only it could always be like this. Ji Yaqian reached to take my phone. In the past, I would definitely be very nervous. But this time I took my phone, unlocked it, and handed it over to her. Then looking at the texts begging for peace from Yuan Diandian, along with those sweet words, her gaze darkened again. After looking at the messages, it's just like I said, I really didn't mean to. My coming to the hospital was completely a coincidence. Wasn't it because I saw my 26-year-old self being too thin, so I wanted to eat a lot to nourish my body? Who would have thought that right now I'd be this weak Ji Yaqian hadn't heard me talk this much in a long time, wanting to take all the trivial things happening to myself and tell them all to her. It seems like he has really forgotten Yuan Diandian now. In his eyes, he can actually see me. See. Yaqian stayed at the hospital guarding me through the IV drip. Outside the window, the night was pitch black. The hallway occasionally echoed with the gentle footsteps of the nurses. The fluid in the IV bottle dripped steadily, as if measuring time. I leaned against the raised hospital bed, my face still a bit pale, but my eyes were unusually bright, as if trying in a hurry out of the fog to fish out a piece of the past that I had forgotten. I asked a lot all about those 6 years, all about what I had forgotten. At first, Ji Yaqian only answered shortly, even trying to steer the conversation to something else. Those 6 years. To her were countless times of silence, wanting to speak, but holding back and watching me walk toward someone else in the blink of an eye. It was the jealousy and helplessness buried deep in her heart, almost wanting to swallow herself whole. Those were the 6 least happy years between her and me. She didn't want to mention even a single bit, not at all. But every time she intended to completely stay silent, her eyes would catch my gaze looking over, in which there was no gloom or lingering attachment of memory, only pure curiosity, clear as an early autumn stream, not reflecting any dust of the past. Facing eyes like that, she found herself unable to build a high fortress wall. Those bitter fragments were ultimately still pried out by me bit by bit. That UN girl or whatever, how did I get to know her? Ji Yaqian's fingers unconsciously stroked the bed rail, the cold sensation of the metal transmitting through her fingertips. Her voice was flat with no emotion to be heard. Only she knew that the old anger in her chest was smoldering again. Yuan Diandian was a graduate student at our school. After you broke your leg, one was the one who took you to the school infirmary. She paused for a moment as if she could still feel my weight on her back that year. After that, for every follow-up and dressing change, I accompanied you. However, by the last time you had almost recovered, and I saw you walking with no major issues. That day I also had things to do, so I didn't accompany you to the hospital. You met her then. Just one absence. Just that one single time. I was by his side every single time without taking a step away, yet it didn't match up to a single seemingly accidental setup of fate that made Chao Chen fall in love with another woman at first sight. Thinking back to it now, it's still like a small thorn stuck in the softest place of my heart. And then what? As if listening to a story that had nothing to do with me. At that time, you started having secrets, acting sneaky every day, your mind completely spaced out. My project happened to be at a critical stage, so busy that my days and nights were inverted. By the time I had the time and energy to look for you, you ran over and told me you wanted to confess to Yuan Diandian in the hospital room. There was silence for a moment, only the sound of the medical equipment operating softly. So how did we finally get married? My eyebrows gradually frowned again, asking the question from early this morning. the obsession in my heart the most puzzling question. Afterwards, you discovered that Yuendiandian wasn't just being ambiguous with you alone. More importantly, she already had a fiancé arranged by her family. You got angry and sought me out for a shotgun marriage. At that time, you looked like an abandoned puppy. My heart softened, so I agreed. Yakian lied. The truth was that he begged, but couldn't get her, and it was a time when he regretted endlessly. I gave him a chance. I was the third wheel. I got turned into a third wheel. I suddenly sat up straight from my leaning position, my voice raising sharply due to hunger and anger, causing the IV needle on the back of my hand to shift slightly, causing a scratch. At first I was in disbelief, then a sense of absurdity rushed over me. I really didn't know what expression to make. I asked Yakian about the events of the past 6 years, wanting to hear her answer, and wanting even more to see what the comments would say. The male and female leads are love at first sight, childhood. Sweethearts can never beat the latecomer. The villainous wife lost fair and square. The female lead is fake toward everyone else. She's only real with the male lead. Come on, the female lead plays everyone everywhere. Because of her, the male lead has broken down how many times already. UN Diandian is the heiress of the UN Corporation. She has many illegitimate siblings, so of course she has to secure the power in her hands first. It's just a tactic. The male lead is just a side character passing through, a side character. Then why didn't she cancel the engagement to be with the male lead? The male lead got bashed by the internet as a third wheel, and even ran away. Is this called love? The comments argued endlessly. Hearing Yakian's words, though brief, they were packed with information about Yuendiandian's past 6 years, gradually piecing together a complete picture in my mind. In the end, it was just a cliché and heartbreaking story. She ambitiously wanted to step into the family power, yet couldn't give up her fluttering emotions. So on one hand, she used promises of true love to coax me, while on the other hand, maintaining her engagement with the fiancé who could bring her benefits, to have it both ways. Until the matter was exposed. I bore all the insults while the person who said she loved me refused to stand up and immediately ghosted me. This plot is truly like an old-school melodramatic romance novel. I really can't understand it. Was that foolish person really me? This is completely not my style. How could I be that stupid? The fluid in the IV bottle finally ran out. I could finally leave the hospital, filled with the smell of disinfectant. My eyes were glued to the Rolls-Royce, my pupils lighting up again and again. Your car is so beautiful. My fingers gently slid across the glossy car door. 28 million. I suddenly turned my head, my voice carrying a hint of regret and desire. If I hadn't met that Miss Yuendiandian back then, could I have also successfully started a business and made a fortune? And then I would buy a house myself, drive a luxury car. I paused for a bit, holding my breath and shouting, with a bit of petulant pride and even sugarcoat a few models or something. What vertical bar? What does it have to do with you? I just want to keep models. Hey, my beautiful youth suddenly lost 6 years. In those 6 years, I hadn't even seriously held hands with the opposite sex. Waking up, I'm already tied down with you. I just want to keep models, so what? I just want to. During the IV drip, that brief warm atmosphere had vanished. Facing Yakian, I went back to the behavior of many years ago, saying whatever I wanted without any hesitation. Get in the car and go home. I intentionally walked around her, directly opened the back door, stepped in and sat down, clearly treating her as my personal driver. Yakian looked at this childish and lively side of me, and that familiar feeling rushed back. Her red lips involuntarily curled up. She opened the back door, trying to pull me out. I rarely saw Yakian show such a childish side, so I went along with her pull and let her stuff me into the passenger seat. Are you really treating me as a driver? To be a driver for this young master, you're very lucky. Yakian didn't say anything more. The Rolls Royce quietly merged into the night, heading toward the Z mansion. Arriving at the door, I played dead on the passenger seat, letting Yakian cutely pull me. The maids waiting at the door of the Z mansion had never seen the miss and young master so intimate. Normally, if they weren't cold, it was a fierce clash. Today, it's like their personalities changed. One throwing a tantrum, one smiling. Turns out the relationship of this young couple finally showed signs of thawing. Yakian linked her arm with mine, walking through the hallway, straight into the master bedroom. Then let me sit down on the bed. As for her, she blushed shyly. This sudden tenderness made me daze for a moment, blurting out, "You've really changed a lot." Are you trying to say I got old again? Don't forget we're the same age. You're even a week older than me. So what you mean now is you're indirectly saying I'm old. Number Z vertical bar. Yakian turned around and walked toward the wardrobe, a slight smile appearing on the corner of her lips. Go take a shower first. We have to sleep together. My thoughts instantly went off track, thinking about things that could happen after showering, and asked warily, Yes, I'll even put a leash on you, so you won't run away in the middle of the night. This is illegal confinement. I'll call the police. Sure, go ahead and call. We are a legally married couple. I'll tell the police. This is just couples role play. Guess if they'll interfere. Yakian, you are truly a female gangster. When I came out of the bathroom wearing only pajamas, Yakian for some reason got flustered for a moment, stood up and ducked into the bathroom. Right at this time, the phone screen left outside lit up. President Xi, the bidding results are out. We won. The UN Corporation was eliminated. Yakian finished showering quickly, dried herself, and pushed the bathroom door open. But in the bedroom, there wasn't a single person. Not seeing any sign of me, Yakian held her breath, as if suddenly falling into an ice cellar. Could it be that Chao Chen lied to me again, and once again disappeared from my world? With an imperceptible tremble, there was no response at all. A bad premonition almost overwhelmed her. Chao Chen, where is everyone? Go find the young master for me immediately. Right at this moment, a soft click came from the end of the hallway. My room door was pulled open and a voice said, Stop shouting. My face was full of annoyance from being disturbed, my tone very grumpy. Are you summoning spirits in the dead of night? Are you going to let people sleep or not? Seeing that I was still there, Yakian finally felt relieved. Looking at her almost frantic appearance, a wave of guilt suddenly rose in my heart. Before traveling through time when I broke my leg, Yakian had supported me to the school infirmary, her mouth endlessly scolding Chao Chen. Serves you right for showing off. Now look at you. Her mouth endlessly scolded. Your leg is broken. Go ahead and keep showing off. Careful not to break the other one, too. Before she could finish, I intentionally shook my leg. She instantly shut up. The 20-year-old Yakian had a sharp tongue. But whenever something happened to me, she would always show up immediately, even for tiny meaningless things. The 26-year-old Yakian was very cold toward me, but she still cared about me. Right now, my mind is still young, not at the same age as her, so I speak without reservation. You secretly love me. It wasn't a question, not a single bit of hesitation. My tone was too certain. Yakian abruptly stopped her steps. Secretly love your head. Go back to the room with me. You're not allowed to stay here. The comments exploded again. I quickly scrolled past the arguing comments, not getting any useful information, nor having the mind to look deeper. Yakian was already standing in front of me. Walk back yourself. Or should I have people carry you? Her gaze was cold. Her words weren't a negotiation, but an announcement. I turned my head to look aside, and guiltily said, I'll just sleep in the living room. I won't run away. I have no interest in you, being all skinny like that. I unconsciously looked back at myself. Very skinny, sickly skinny. In her eyes, I caught a flash of pain, as if by hurting me, she was simultaneously hurting herself. Why do you just have to tie me down? I know that over these years, too many things have happened. The way she treats us is all related to that. Related to my lost memory, right? Before we got married. You and Yuan Diandian were entangled endlessly, making yourself look neither like a human nor a ghost. After getting married, at first I gave you your freedom. After the first time you met her, you came back home and threw a tantrum for 3 days and 3 nights demanding a divorce. I didn't agree. But I didn't forbid you from seeing her either, and even sent bodyguards to secretly protect you. The next time I saw you again was when you were crying at my door saying Yuan Diandian and her fiancé were about to get engaged. And you even got hurt several times because of her. I forgot to tell you that she already has a fiancé now. She has a fiancé, yet she still hits on you, and through your connections. Took away many contracts from the Z Corporation, sucking nutrients from you and me to make herself strong, without fulfilling her promise to marry you or even canceling her engagement. You even harmed yourself because of her, taking sleeping pills because you were depressed. Even when her childhood friend needed organs, you wanted to give yours to him. Fortunately, I stopped it and locked you at home. Otherwise, you wouldn't just be skinny like now, but would have turned into a skeleton long ago from then on. During the day, I have people watch over you, and at night, I lock you up to sleep with me. Don't even think about running away. That was me. Isn't this guy a total simp? Is this really me? The more I listened, the uglier my face became, falling into deep self-doubt. The worldview of this novel's author has some serious issues, right? I really can't relate at all. But I didn't care too much either, since I already forgot everything, so I defended myself. Well, I've forgotten it all now anyway. In case you suddenly remember and start throwing a life-and-death tantrum again, you must come back with me. You don't need to resist. I have no interest in you. I gave in, moved by her feelings of not abandoning me all these years. Shyakian might have a sharp tongue, but she can be considered my loyal and unwavering family. All right. Looking at myself, I don't have any interest either. Yakian brought me back to the master bedroom, skillfully using the chain to lock us together. She walks the talk. Sleeping on the other side of the bed, I still couldn't sleep. Yakian, this bed is really comfortable, Z. Yakian was tired all day and got startled twice, so she only replied, "Go to sleep." The next morning, the sound of a small clinking in the quiet room became even clearer. Yakian moved first very gently, but the metal edges still crept into the roots of my consciousness. So noisy. There's no class this morning, Shai. Can you let me get a good sleep? I frowned, unconsciously burying my face in the pillow. Wake up and eat breakfast first. The woman's voice said, if you want to sleep, wait until after breakfast to sleep again. I closed my eyes, my mind groggy, trying to think in the dorm. Why is there a woman? Right after that, the fragments of memory suddenly pieced together. I bolted up as if burned. Your memory is pretty good. You still remember there's no class this morning? I didn't reply, sitting on the bed, sinking into a deeper daze and reflection. The things from 6 years ago felt like just yesterday. These women, along with the strange feeling of this body, are all silently telling me that 6 years have truly passed. This isn't right. Very not right. Amnesia makes you forget. How can I clearly remember things from further back, but lose a long 6 years in the middle? A stranger idea, a more sci-fi idea uncontrollably popped up. Could it be that I've been isekai'd? Come downstairs for breakfast. Eat less today. Don't be like yesterday, eating so much that you ended up in the hospital. I mumbled a response, watching her slender figure leave. The door of the room was gently closed. I suddenly fell back, pulling the blanket over my head. In the darkness, I continued to wrestle with that shocking speculation. Sorry I'm late. My whole body froze, instantly ripping this blanket down. My sharp eyes scanned the empty room. Who's in the room? Hello, Cao-Chen. I'm not in the room. I'm in your head. In my head, a hallucination. Schizophrenia, the first sign. I couldn't stay calm anymore. I threw off the blanket, jumped out of bed, and rushed out of this room barefoot, holding my head and running downstairs, thinking I could escape that strange voice. Shyakian, who was having breakfast in the dining room, heard the terrified scream and immediately put down her knife and fork, rushing toward the stairs. Just as she stepped up a few stairs, she bumped right into me. What's wrong? Her gaze quickly swept across my pale face like grabbing a lifesaver. I tightly grabbed her hand, speaking at a very fast pace. My voice still trembling, I heard a strange voice. It said, it's in my head, Yakian. Do I really have a problem, schizophrenia? Hallucinations. What are you talking about? Where is your voice? Yakian only frowned slightly, looking confusedly at me. My words suddenly stopped. Are you deaf? I care about you. And you call me deaf? This question clearly reached her ears again. Yakian's face turned cold, looking like she had been betrayed. I just said so much, and not a single word went into your ears. I call you deaf. Yet your ears are quite sharp. I was both anxious and angry, the feeling of fear temporarily suppressed by rage. You really didn't make any sound just now. Amnesia, hallucinations, and now showing signs of aphasia. She didn't dare to delay. Come on. We are going to the hospital right now, right at this moment. That voice echoed in my head again with a comforting tone. Host, don't be afraid. I am not a creep. Nor do you have schizophrenia. I am System 0137. System 0137. My struggling stopped. My chaotic thoughts were led by this unexpected term into a completely new direction. I unconsciously repeated it. That's right, host. System 0137's voice was flat and unbodong. Sorry, I was supposed to introduce myself yesterday, but headquarters had an emergency meeting. Only now can I reunite with you. In addition, you cannot directly mention my existence in front of others. Related words will be automatically censored. We can chat directly in your mind. It's both safe and won't make the outside world think you're mentally abnormal. So that's how it is. It wasn't that Yakian was deaf. It was that those words were censored. I suddenly understood, and my tense nerves miraculously relaxed, even giving rise to a bit of strange curiosity. 0137 sounds so much like the last digits of a phone number I mumbled in my consciousness. System 0137 fell silent for a moment, and then an emoji was projected directly into my consciousness. There are even emojis. I widened my eyes in surprise, almost screaming out loud in real life. Xiaochen, Xiaochen, Yakian's calling pulled me back to reality. She looked at the rapidly changing expressions on my face, the unease in her heart reaching its peak. Amnesia yesterday, aphasia combined with hallucinations today, and now staring blankly into the air, with a strange expression and stacking symptoms. It's truly impossible to be optimistic. Are you okay? We must go to the hospital right now. I completely snapped out of it, seeing the undisguised anxiety and determination in her eyes. I hurriedly waved my hands, trying to make my expression look normal. I'm fine, I'm fine. Just now I was a bit grumpy from waking up. My mind is still a bit chaotic. Let's have breakfast, I'm hungry. Yakian was half believing and half doubting. After breakfast, before she went to work, she called the family doctor. While the family doctor was examining me, a middle-aged man rushed in crying. Young master, please help me speak to the miss, don't let her fire. Right now my mind is only like a 20-year-old. How could I have ever seen an elder kneeling before me? I hurriedly reached out to support him. Please stand up first, let's talk slowly. Young master, my family has elderly people to provide, 4 and 2 kids still in college. I really can't lose this job. The bodyguard quickly reported the situation inside the villa to Yakian, the phone number that was just changed yesterday. Yuan received the info within the same day. There is indeed a mole in the house. Yuan on one hand monitors the company's movements, while on the other hand playing hot and cold with Chao Chen, intentionally teasing him. Do they really think I Yakian am a pushover? After hearing about what the man had done, the sympathy in my heart completely vanished. Having an unfaithful mole who plays both sides around is no different from burying a bomb next to oneself. It's too dangerous. Today you can betray Yakian. Tomorrow you can also betray someone else. Today it's passing information. Tomorrow who knows if you'll harm someone's life. Someone like you, the Xi family, cannot use. I will clear his salary according to the market standard. If he continues to make a scene, I will sue him for violating employee regulations and demand compensation. The bodyguard relayed my words word for word to Yakian. Yakian's cold expression gradually softened. The family doctor's checkup results showed that nothing was wrong with my body. It's just that I'm too thin. Yakian's mood completely brightened up. This is her happiest day in recent years. Hopefully this time with the amnesia, Xiaochen will play along a bit longer. But this time I absolutely won't let him escape. Xiaochen seems to have really forgotten. So then forget forever and stay by my side forever, voluntarily staying by my side. Returning to the bedroom, I lay down and started conversing with the system in my head. 0137, can this code name be changed vertical bar? People who don't know would think it's a delivery guy coming. What would you like me to call myself? Oh, don't use sir anymore, I feel like I'm still quite young. Can you adjust your way of speaking a bit? Too calm, too cold. Sure, everything can be adjusted. How do you find a friendly and lively style? Good, just don't sound like a chatterbox. Otherwise, I really won't have any interest in talking. As for your name, introduce your functions first. I am from the male lead department. The main mission is to rescue the male lead. Simply put, I'm here to help you. What do I have that needs rescuing? Is it Z? Yakian locking me up or Yuan? The Andean hurting me? Host. There is something I must tell you first. You have to prepare yourself mentally. The world we are in is actually a novel. This I know. How do you know? No way. I just got here and haven't said anything yet. Did another character tell you? Do you just believe whatever they say? Tai. That's not right either. Is there anything you want to say? I can see the comments. Is this a system bug on your side, a glitch, Paul? I just arrived yesterday and got called back for a meeting accidentally enabling the comment function. So you've already understood. This world through the comments, not exactly. The comments are just fighting or arguing all day long. There isn't much useful information. I only know I'm a simp male lead Z. Yakian is the villainous female supporting lead, and there's a female lead addicted to cheating. Don't talk about yourself like that. The male lead must be confident and strong. This world was born because of you. The female lead and female supporting lead indeed deserve severe criticism. Are you sure I am the center of this world? Then why do all the resources, connections, and benefits belong to the female lead? Right now, I'm even this skinny, I even feel my bones hurting. This is a very old novel. Back then, the trope of physical and emotional angst was popular, with families ruined. But now this genre is no longer popular. The novel world has reincarnated many times. But over the past few times, this small world gradually went off track. Especially last time after the female supporting lead blackened. She made a move on the female lead, and ultimately ended her own life right in front of you. The main characters were all gone. The world had to restart. And in this reincarnation, the actions of the female supporting lead appeared abnormal again. Wait a minute, what did you say? I was gone. Am I not the male lead? Why would I pass away? Who is the center of this world? The female lead is the author's own child. And the male lead is an adopted one, right? Why do I have to pass away? Do I absolutely have to pass away? Before I pass away, I must drag down Andy and that gold digger girl. Bzzz, bzzz. System 0137 detects a chaos warning. Host, please calm down a bit. Our system is here to help you achieve a happy ending. If it's to fix the original plot so that Andy and I have a beautiful ending, then I'd rather go handle her right now. Who is such an ending trying to discuss? Whoever likes that kind of girl, go spend a lifetime with that kind of person. Calm down. Our male lead department has high authority. Besides, that old trope is no longer popular now. Besides, that old style isn't trendy anymore. You can decide your own ending. You can choose to let the female supporting lead win, or you can go down the solo haremless route with no CP. Well, that's more like it. I hope I can have a happy and beautiful ending. Let's call you Duan Yuan. Cool, sure, host. Our goal is a happy, perfect ending. Looking forward to working with you. You still haven't said what functions you have. How do you plan to help me? Your comment function is both a help and a total hassle. They argue all day long. It's annoying as hell. Duan Yuan is sorry. Sorry, host, I'll turn it off right away. Later on, if you want to check it, you can adjust it again in your mind. You need to complete the main quest to advance your happiness progress bar. Every time you reach a milestone, you can unlock rewards. The final grand prize is growing old together with your partner. If you have no CP, you can also live out a peaceful life alone until the end. Growing old together is also a grand prize. What if I'm unlucky and the person I choose betrays me? You can change that person at any time. The new person you choose will continue to inherit this grand prize. The male lead system will always put the MC first. I'm quite satisfied. I have another question. Clearly 2 days ago I was still in college, and now I've been married for 4 years. Why is that? About this, listen to my defense. No, listen to my explanation. When the story first started, I brought you to headquarters for a brain sync, of course. Characters in a novel won't have memories of headquarters. I spent a lot of time upgrading the system. We were supposed to arrive here 6 years ago, but the network lagged, delaying my upgrade at headquarters. One day there is 1 year in this mini-world. I wanted to save it by going back to at least when you just got married, but the results showed we couldn't go back, and even landed at an even worse timing. Now both your physical and mental state are nerfed. I'm a college student. And so are you. This is way too unreliable. What exactly did you upgrade? I'm a system that just graduated from college this year, and you are my very first host. What are you reliable? Personally, I'm not that reliable. Now I'm starting to doubt your capability. I have confidence, I believe. You will definitely be happy. I asked, since this world suddenly lost 6 years, did I even exist during those 6 years? But this world has me, and it's even playing out according to the novel's plot. Those 6 years were run by the world's program, commonly known as autopilot. If it can already autopilot, then what do you need me for, logically speaking? The story of this novel means I would also follow this development path. Autopilot would also follow this program. So what's the difference between me and it? Besides, this is way too different from my actual personality. It's completely unlike anything I would ever do. The difference is that the body controlled by autopilot feels no pain when injured, has no emotions, and has no thoughts. But you do. If I had thoughts, why would I do such stupid things? That wasn't me. Absolutely wasn't me. Others are done after following the script, but you're different. The beginning and the ending are not controlled by the plot. You can live however you want. Only a segment in the middle follows the plot. The one being controlled by others is completely not me. Just a string puppet, living according to a script written by someone else. It's not that I can get whatever I want. The person in that plot and I are completely two different people. His thoughts and way of doing things are entirely beyond my understanding, nor could I ever pull them off. Making me look like a fool time after time. Doing it once or twice would be fine. But you can't be that stupid every single time. It's very normal for you to feel that the person in the script isn't you. The person bound by the plot is completely not the real you. Only when you yourself live freely is it the real you. No matter what, I won't admit those 6 years belong to me. Too cringe. I couldn't do something like that. By the way, what is your skill? My skill is to rewind time 3 times. Take me back to 6 years ago right now. Let's start the mission from 6 years ago. Rewinding time can only be done within a short period. Fine, let's keep that skill on standby for now. What are the milestone rewards for the main quest? You said this is the main quest, meaning besides the main quest, there are side quests. Right, the reward is a mystery gift box. Even I don't know what's inside. Side quests will be randomly triggered based on the characters you meet. You can choose to do them or not. Sounds pretty fun. The Z Corporation successfully won the bid, getting their hands on a project that's all profit and no loss. This means the Z Corporation, among the many competing companies at the same level, will break away from the pack. Yuan knew the results. That night, she locked herself inside the UN Corporation building. In the general manager's office on the top floor, she was the only one left on the entire floor. The email notifying the bidding results was still coldly sitting on the computer screen, the letters like a needle piercing her eyes. She slowly stood up and walked to the floor-to-ceiling windows looking at the city's splendid night view. The land she thought was locked down in her hands, at this moment seemed to be mocking her incompetence. She started to frantically smash things. After venting her anger, she stood panting in the middle of the mess, her long hair disheveled and her bangs soaked in sweat. Her phone screen lit up, showing a call from her fiancé, Chi Yibai. She didn't answer, only staring at the flashing name, her gaze dark. 3 months ago, in order to win the government bid and a 500 million investment from the Chi family, Yuan Dian had signed a gambling agreement with Chi Yibai. If the project succeeded, the Chi family would get 15% of the project's shares. If it failed, she had to pay back the principal, along with a 20% interest rate within 3 years, and use 8% of her original shares as collateral. She had also made a pledge to her father, Yuan Fengtai, a commitment. Yuan Fengtai, although retired to the background, was actually the one in power. He only recognizes capability, not family bonds, and already has many children, with illegitimate ones outside. This time, Yuan Dian suffered a crushing defeat, her status completely shaken. The next morning, Yuan Dian tried to pull herself together, trying to rebuild. She contacted a few small and medium-sized tech companies that previously intended to cooperate, the tech company starting to push some minor projects, hoping to use short-term achievements to regain her father's trust. At noon, Qi Yibai's father, Xi Jinping's call came as scheduled. After a while of intimidation and pressure, the call ended. The smile on Yuan Dian's face instantly vanished, her gaze terrifyingly dark. A few seconds later, the phone was slammed hard onto the newly replaced desk. Old fox, how dare you? One by one, everyone wants to kick me while I'm down. See vertical bar. Yakian, because of winning the government, project became even busier. But no matter how busy she was, she would immediately check the hourly messages sent by the bodyguards regarding my situation at home. It's been 3 hours and he still hasn't left the room. Xie Yakian always paid the most attention to me. Her heart was uneasy, feeling that something was wrong. A quiet kid is definitely up to no good. She told the bodyguards to go knock on the door and check what the young master was doing in the villa. Young master, are you in there? I'm playing games. What's wrong? The young master is playing games inside. Nothing is wrong. Xie Yakian heard what I said, and the unease in her heart finally calmed down. For the next few days, Xie Yakian worked at the company during the day, while I continued to stay at home playing games. During that time, whenever I wanted to go out, I was rejected by Xie Yakian. At night, the two of us were bound together by a gold chain, lying at opposite ends of the king-sized bed, separated by more than a meter. The only inconvenience was that in order to gain weight quickly, I ate a few extra meals every day and drank water before sleeping. Going to the bathroom at night would wake Xie Yakian. Xie Yakian waking up in the middle made her sleep quality even worse. After a while, whispers secretly spread inside the Z Corporation that I had worn out their CEO Miss so much. Yuan Dian wanted to regain her father's trust, so she was busy cooperating with small companies. As for being scolded and blocked by me at the bidding event, she was originally very angry. But thinking that in the end I still listened, holding back Jie Yakian and not letting her into the hall, believing that in my heart I still have her, that I'm just throwing a tantrum. Too bad her people are useless. Even without Jie Yakian there, the project was still lost. After that, she found out I was hospitalized to help her, and took the chance to send a text asking about me. I didn't reply. She thought my freedom was restricted, so I couldn't be reached. So she sent a few messages to my old phone number, saving them to check later. It's already been half a month since I was isekai'd into this world. The initial sense of novelty had long been worn away by these days of confinement. Every day when I open my eyes, it's this luxurious yet cold bedroom. Scrolling short videos to watch other people's lives. My fingers scrolled so much that my knuckles were both tired and sore. I lay stretched out on the bed, tossing my phone to the side and calling the system. Duan Yuan, can the main and side quests still be opened? I can't even meet a single person. Staying home playing games all day. I'm about to get tendinitis. Host, how about we sneakily slip outside? Running outside, won't that just be like the original plot? In the original plot, wasn't it Jie Yakian locking me up? Me wanting to escape, then getting hurt by Yuan Diandian, and then caught back by Jie Yakian. With how nerfed my body is right now, if I'm not careful, I might just pass away permanently. What you said is also right. Then you should focus on nursing your health first. Health is wealth. No matter what mission you do, you need a good physical build. Oh, right. Speaking of nursing your health, host, if you can restore your weight to a normal state, it will be considered completing the first phase of the happiness goal, a mission. What did you say? Taking good care of my body counts as completing a goal. That's right. To have a happy ending, physical and mental health is the very first step. What is the standard for health? At least your indicators must meet health standards, with no other illnesses. For you, it means gaining weight. I've been trying for half a month and only gained about 3 or 4 pounds. Host, your height is 188.8 centimeters. Your weight should be at least 70 kilograms. Lower than this level is very unhealthy. I looked back at my skinny self and nodded. I threw down my phone. Starting from today, I will eat a bit more. Barefoot, I ran downstairs to find Auntie Wong. Auntie Wong, starting from today, please make me some food to gain weight and boost my health. In short, whatever is nutritious, just make it. Don't worry, young master. I will definitely nourish you to be totally healthy. But it seems like she misunderstood. At the dinner table, I looked at a table full of delicacies and started devouring it. Jie Yakian's gaze slowly swept across the dining table. Charcoal grilled, oysters, medium rare steak, fresh and tender deep-sea fish, sunny-side-up eggs with chives, vibrant green and ultimate mega-nourishing soup, and goji berry tea on the side. This combination was truly too obvious. Miss, it's because the young master specifically requested it this afternoon, saying that starting from today, he wanted mega-nourishing dishes to boost blood energy and health. The young master is so thoughtful. The corner of Jie Yakian's mouth twitched. She looked at me as I was buried in my food, one hand holding an oyster shell, slurping it down and the other hand skewering beef to put into my mouth. Jie Yakian closed her eyes and told Auntie Wong to excuse herself first. In the dining room, there was only left the slight clatter of bowls and chopsticks and my loud chewing sounds. Is it good? Delicious? Auntie Wong's cooking skills are so good. The soup is especially tasty. I let out a burp without any restraint. Jie Yakian looked at me. My gaze held nothing but appreciation for the good food, nothing else. She suddenly felt that her thoughts just now were a bit of wishful thinking. She picked up her chopsticks, acting natural, and started eating. Eat up quickly. There's so much food, if you don't eat, I'll finish it all. After saying that, I scooped myself another full bowl of soup, determined to thoroughly carry out the weight gain plan. Jie Yakian looked at me eating like a wolf, her eyelids starting to twitch again as she reminded me, as if casually, eat less. Overeating, be careful, or it'll be like last time. Your stomach won't take it and you'll end up in the hospital again. It's fine, I was rejoicing in my heart, calculating how many ounces I could gain from this meal. Duan Yuan was also monitoring the calorie intake. Currently, it was still far from the alarm threshold. I know my limits, yet I still picked up another piece of chive. Jie Yakian saw me eating with such a good appetite, and ate more too. Late at night, she lay on the bed not even 1 meter away from me, her body temperature higher than usual, and her mood fluctuating along with it. Lately, Chao Chen's appearance really seems like he has forgotten everything over the past years, everything that has passed. It doesn't look like he's intentionally acting. This unfamiliarity and calmness couldn't be faked for this long. It's so real. The thoughts of Z, Yakian, uncontrollably drifted back to before she turned 20, drifting back to that beautiful period of youth. Those feelings that had long been quiet and withered, when facing him after his memory loss, just remembered and silently revived. That heart which was about to stir, once again became lively and hot. But how could I guess the struggles inside her heart? Initially, I was totally against sharing a room and sharing a bed with her. After half a month of living together, I gradually became sure that Yakian simply didn't want me to contact Andian, always protecting my safety. Other than that, in other matters, she didn't seem to have any hidden motives. Those days of eating mega-nourishing meals lasted for a week. Because I ate quite a lot every day, my weight increased significantly. My arms and legs, which were originally a bit skinny, now had an extra layer of flesh. One morning I sneakily stood on the scale and saw the needle stop right at 55 kilograms. I couldn't help but curl my lips into a smile, looking at myself in the mirror from left to right. But Yakian, who made progress along with me, seemed to have a smoldering fire silently ignited inside her body. At first it was just tossing and turning, unable to sleep at night. After all, her body wasn't weak at all. Then it turned into a low-key torment. She would often suddenly wake up in the middle of the night, only able to silently gaze at me under the dim light while I was fast asleep, with me completely unaware of anything. Looking at this completely defenseless appearance of mine, the hot fire in her heart ultimately turned into helplessness. Forget it, it's still better to take it slow. She couldn't bear to wake me from my deep sleep. Nor did she want to take a cold shower to force herself down, and much less could she bring herself to explain it to me. Another night came, and the familiar heat hit her even deeper than before. Yakian broke into a sweat under the blanket. She gently lifted the blanket, taking the key to unlock the chain on my hand. Drowsily, I rolled over to the middle, pressing tightly against the skin of her arm. She practically fled into the bathroom, wanting to wash away all her strange thoughts. The next morning when I woke up, I had absolutely no idea what happened last night, getting up just like usual, and going downstairs to have breakfast. Yakian looked at my increasingly healthy complexion, feeling extremely happy in her heart. Yakian, it's so boring at home, I want to go out. Plus, I think I need a job. Right now, staying at your house every day, being raised like a pig isn't a good thing either. Yakian heard me compare myself like that, and couldn't help but smile. Xiaochen is still just like back then. When he's harsh, he's even harsh on himself. I know you don't want me to go out, but I'm about to grow mold at home. I am no longer that Xiaochen who would do anything dead or alive for a woman. I am the Xiaochen of age, 20. I want to move forward, work hard, be proactive, and stay optimistic. I want to have a job. Any job will do. If I don't know how, I can learn slowly. I don't want to be locked inside the house by you forever. I feel like a puppy or a kitten, not like a human being. Host, you're awesome. This is the real you. Indeed, the you bound by the plot is completely not the real you. Look at how the comments are praising you. I just want to be the master of my own life. I don't need to be exceptionally outstanding, but I must have the right to make decisions for myself, to do what I want to do. Right now, what I want to do is have a job, integrate into society, and be independent and self-reliant. Xiaochen has returned to his true self, whom she hadn't seen in years. All right, you will be my assistant right away. Right away, do I have no other options? Yakian was displeased, puffing up her cheeks. What are you looking at? What kind of expression is that? What's with the attitude? I get it. I agree. I have to be around you 24/7 every single day. I feel so annoyed. Are you happy with this reason? Isn't it because I'm afraid you'll lie to me? What if you use work as an excuse to secretly go look for that Miss Yuan? That Diandian girl would ultimately do anything dead or alive, and I'd have to go save her again. I suddenly remembered what Duan Yuan said earlier, that in the previous timeline, after she dealt with Yuan Diandian, she also passed away along with me. Actually, I don't think Yakian would like me. After all, our relationship is just average. Even having breakfast right now can turn into a fight. In the first 25 years of our lives, this happened frequently. We'd fight before saying 2 words, and make up before fighting for 2 words. I really can't imagine why she would make such a decision. Could it be that Yakian also has issues like Yuan Diandian, having to wait until someone is gone to understand her own heart and feel regret? Oh, I see. Fine, if I'm to be your assistant, then assistant it is. The black car stopped steadily in front of the G Corporation. The employees passing by subconsciously slowed down. The car door opened. The person, Stepping out first was their cold CEO miss. Everyone's gaze was instantly captured by me standing beside her. See, Yakian, acting as if she didn't notice the surrounding stares, walked straight with me hand in hand toward the CEO's private elevator. Right after that came uncontrollable whispers. The brave employees quickly pulled out their phones, and the Z Corporation gossip group chat was constantly flooded with updates. "What's going on?" The executive assistant just brought a very handsome man inside. Xiao Chen, the Xiao Chen who in their memory was always hysterical, with eyes only for Yuan Dian Shi. Yakian is actually bringing him to the company. The doors of the CEO's private elevator opened again. Yakian stepped out first, followed closely by me. The employees on the top floor were instantly stunned. "Assistant, come into my office." "Yes, President Xi." The assistant immediately collected her thoughts and followed. "Good morning, President Xi, young master. Do you have any instructions, Miss Before Yakian could speak, I looked up, with an excitement that was completely out of place. "Please set up a workspace for me. Starting today, I'm coming to work. Am I having auditory hallucinations? Otherwise, how could I hear?" The CEO's young master, the guy who always causes trouble for this company, actually say he's coming to work. This is practically terrible news. She subconsciously looked at Z, Yakian seeking confirmation with her eyes. Yakian nodded subtly. "At a desk inside my office. Start with some simple tasks first. No way I want to sit outside with everyone. Do as I say, do it now." My request being rejected was also within expectations. The current Yakian is a total dictator. If you dare use work as an excuse to sneak outside, then don't ever think about stepping foot out of the house again. The moment I walked out, I faced dozens of eyes outside that hadn't completely pulled back their gossiping stares. Our eyes met in midair, and the atmosphere instantly became fascinating and awkward. But I felt like I had found my people, and a bright smile instantly broke across my face. Taking the initiative to step forward, I greeted everyone in a clear voice. "Hello, everyone, hello! We are colleagues from now on. I'm a newbie in this field. I don't know anything. Please guide me a lot in the future." "You're too polite, sir." I acted as if I didn't notice those scrutinizing looks, naturally joining in the conversation. After a few casual words, the initially tense atmosphere softened a lot. An employee couldn't hold back her curiosity and carefully pried, "May I ask, what is your relationship with President Xi?" I blinked and answered smoothly and naturally. "We are childhood friends and also old classmates." So that's how it is. Everyone finally realized, so they were childhood sweethearts. Just what kind of character is he? The assistant brought along the logistics staff, carrying a desk chair computer and brand new equipment over. Seeing me surrounded, she said, "Young master, why aren't you inside President Xi's office?" The assistant stopped at her tone, respectful. The words "young master" were like a pebble thrown into a calm lake, causing huge waves in everyone's hearts. The scene instantly went dead silent. The young master of the Z family, the one rumored to have a terrible relationship with President Xi, is indeed the man who could appear alongside Yakian, could only be the young master of the Z family. This move by the young lady of the Z family, I really can't figure it out. They didn't know that. Behind the special one-way glass of the CEO's office, Yakian was standing quietly. Her gaze pierced through the glass, locking onto me, her eyes welling with complex emotions that were hard to read, scrutinizing, searching, and even a bit of suppressed intense possessiveness. Lately, Xiao Chen has been very obedient, even carrying the vibrant energy of a 20-year-old, almost without any flaws. This could be a more high-level disguise from Xiao Chen. Must quickly find a slip-up to tear off Xiao Chen's mask, but I wish it were all real. Wish time would stop right here. Wish Xiao Chen would stay like this forever. The one who would smile at me, would argue back, and also, after being teased, would only know how to grin foolishly. Xiao Chen, the assistant, acted quickly and efficiently, speedily setting up a workspace for me. A new computer, full stationary, everything was ready. Having my own territory, I looked exceptionally focused. The entire morning he obediently sat in front of the computer, sometimes frowning in thought, sometimes typing onto the keyboard, unusually serious. "Duan Yuan, what does this report mean? What do these numbers represent? How do I adjust this document formatting? Why is the layout I made so ugly? School absolutely didn't teach this. I've never encountered this before. This PPT template is too tacky. The colors are so ugly." I stuck to the principle of self-reliance, first secretly using my phone to search. If I really didn't understand, I'd urgently call Duan Yuan for remote guidance. after a whole day of struggling. I don't even know how I managed to complete a few basic tasks. Jia Yakian printed out the documents I submitted, pointing her pen tip at a few spots. The logic here doesn't flow. The data citation here is inaccurate. The formatting doesn't fit the company standard. I leaned closer to watch her sketch on the paper and explain, her voice gentle and patient. I unconsciously followed her train of thought, watching her presentation, editing, adjusting, and learning from her problem-solving logic. Outside the window, it was gradually painted with twilight colors. The clock-out bell at 5 o'clock rang right on time. I, who was just hyper-focused a moment ago, instantly looked like I was injected with new life. My eyes lit up, and lightning fast I saved the file and turned off the PCA, series of actions as smooth as floating clouds and flowing water. I let out a cheer, stood up, and was about to bolt outside. Chow Chen, don't you need the feedback edits anymore? I'll fix it tomorrow. Labor law says it's time to clock out. I zoomed out of the office area, leaving behind a crowd of people silently watching with envious eyes. Who wouldn't want to clock out on time? But my freedom was extremely short-lived. Sorry, young Master Chiao. President Shi specifically instructed that you are not allowed to leave the company alone. Xie. I want to clock out, go back, finish fixing the files, and then leave. Right now is off work hours. This counts as overtime. Triple pay, as an employee yet leaving earlier than the boss. At any other company, you'd be fired already. I gripped my phone tight, turning my head to look back toward the towering elevator, gloomily walking back into the lift. The lights on the top floor lit up again because of me. I hate night shifts. Hate overtime. I followed behind Jie Yakian into the elevator, this time much quieter. By the time Jie Yakian drove me back home, it was late at night. Auntie Wong had already prepared dinner. 6 dishes and 1 hot soup laid out on the table, bringing a cozy family warmth. The two of us finished eating in silence. I immediately headed back to the master bedroom, continuing to dominate the gaming rift, while Jie Yakian went into the study to handle official business. Not long after, her phone buzzed. Come out for a drink. Heard you brought the brother-in-law to the company today. What's the status? Not going. There's no status. Don't lie to me. You two could stay at peace for a whole day, without fighting or a cold war. This is rarer than the sun rising from the west. Believe it or not, he lost his memory. See, Yakian was annoyed to the limit, carelessly replying with a few words and then ignoring it. An hour later, the doorbell rang. Auntie Wong opened the door, only to see Gunyanian smiling, giggling, standing at the door, changing shoes like she owned the place. Big Boss Shi, I'm at your house. Gunyanian sent a text to Xie Yakian upstairs. Where's the brother-in-law? You're really persistent, he. Yakian subconsciously glanced toward the tightly closed door of the master bedroom. You actually made a trip here just for this gossip. Of course, it's a miracle you two aren't fighting. Naturally, I wanted to see it with my own eyes. Gunyanian leaned against her, her eyes sparkling. Xie Yakian said in a cold tone, We aren't monkeys in a zoo. For you to come on our special tour. By the way, didn't Chow Chen always do everything dead or alive for that Andian girl? Aye. Why the sudden change in personality? Don't get fooled again. Back then, when I caused a massive scene for Andian, Gunyanian was Xie Yakian's best friend, frequently drinking with her to drown her sorrows. So naturally, she was still wary. Xie Yakian's gaze flashed with a trace of gentleness. He lost his memory. Last time, he also faked a headache, and memory loss to trick you into softening your heart. This time, his tactics are higher level. This time, it's real. He doesn't even remember who Andian is. What if his acting skills just improved? Yakian, don't fall for it again. Before she could finish her sentence, the sound of a door gently opening came from the second floor. The two of them looked up together. I walked out wearing loungewear, standing by the balcony. Railing, I looked down, my gaze clear. With a bit of unfamiliarity and curiosity, Gunyanian instantly stood up, flashing her signature radiant smile. Hello, brother-in-law. Did we talk too loudly and disturb you? I walked down the stairs, nodding to her polite yet distant hello. At the same time, I urgently called the system in my head. Duan Yuan. Who is this person, Gunyanian? The best friend the female lead met during her startup days. They have a great relationship. Basically the only person who can share few heartfelt words with Xie Yakian. I suddenly understood. Facing the scrutinizing gaze of Gunyanian, I said, I came down to get some water. You two go ahead. I walked to the fridge in the kitchen and grabbed 2 bottles of mineral water. He just smiled at me again, and even took the initiative to say hello. Didn't he give me a cold face every time we met before? Looks like he really lost his memory. His memory probably stopped at age 20. He forgot everyone and everything before that. Such a massive, joyful event needs to be celebrated. Let's go out for a few drinks, my treat. Yakian was dazed for a moment. All right, let's go. Are you starting to fall for him again, S? Yakian, are you catching feelings again? Z. Yakian ignored her, walking to the front of the master bedroom door. Knocking gently, my slightly dazed voice came from inside, "Come in." I was sitting cross-legged on the sofa, my fingers scrolling rapidly across the phone screen. It seemed like the battle was intense. The light from the screen reflected onto my face, drawing a focused side profile, as if completely immersed in my own world. Kiao Chen, I'm going out for a drink with Gunianian. I might be back a bit late. I didn't look up, my eyes still glued to the screen. Just go, it's not like I tied you up with a chain. The moment the words left my mouth, Yakian stiffened imperceptibly. Those words were like a small needle, accurately piercing the bottom of her heart. She wanted to say something, but all the words choked up in her throat, ultimately turning into a bitter silence. In the end, she said nothing, only giving me a deep look, and then gently closed the door. Inside the bar, the dim yellow lights flashed as low music hit the eardrums. Yakian didn't say a single word, downing 2 glasses of hard liquor in a row. Drink slower, what are you doing? What kind of provocation did you get just now? As the 3rd glass reached her lips, Yakian tilted her head back to drink. Should I not have humored him like that? You were trying to protect him before. The moment you let go, he'd run straight to you and Andy causing so much trouble. Wasn't it always you cleaning up his mess? Now that he has amnesia and the situation is unclear, you have to be even more careful. What if something happens again? He doesn't like being locked up by me, and he doesn't like me either, Yakian stared blankly at the amber, liquid swirling in her glass. Isn't this already too obvious? But anyway, now that he isn't throwing tantrums anymore, maybe we can get a bit closer. Just take it slow. Feelings can't be rushed. But Yakian, acting as if she didn't hear, refilled another glass for herself. Gunianian shook her head, knowing that tonight she'd definitely have to be a drinking buddy. The outstanding appearance of the two of them had long attracted many eyes. Not long after, a tall man holding a drink walked over and sat down on the empty seat next to Yakian. 2 beautiful ladies. Drinking alone is so sad. Care to have a drink together? Sorry. My friend is married. Even if she's married, we can still be friends, right? Seeing this beautiful lady looking sad, let's chat together. I'm already married. The smile on the man's face stiffened a bit. His eyes pointedly swept over her completely bare finger, his tone turning somewhat provocative. Seeing that you're unhappy. Are you mad at your husband? I'm telling you. Sometimes you should let yourself loosen up a bit. Who knows, maybe your husband right now is also having fun somewhere else. Besides, you've already taken off your wedding ring. Why do you need to be so serious? Life is short. Isn't it good to enjoy the moment? At this time, I was teaming up with a gaming buddy on voice chat, facing the enemy duo and rendering them speechless, having a great time playing. Suddenly, without any warning, I let out a massive sneeze. Who's thinking of me? I rubbed my nose and mumbled to myself. Yakian's entire body suddenly turned ice cold. Get lost. The man was terrified by this deadly freezing gaze, hurriedly running away. Gunianian let out a sigh of relief. Turning her head back, she saw Yakian lowering her head, staring intently at her own right hand, her ring, finger completely bare. Her marriage with Chao Chen was a sham from the very beginning. Chao Chen, before his amnesia, didn't like her. After his amnesia, he still doesn't like her. This realization burned hotter than any hard liquor. Yakian didn't say anything else, downing glass after glass. Gunianian watched, her heart heavy, but she didn't know how to comfort her. Finally, seeing that Yakian was totally wasted, she could only call her own people to send this high-maintenance ancestor home safely first, late at night. When Yakian was helped out of the car by the driver, the night breeze blew past and her mind seemed to clear up a bit. But her steps were still unstable. She brushed away, Gunianian's hand trying to support her, stumbling into the house on her own, climbing up the stairs step by step. Gunianian, seeing that her job was done, went home with peace of mind. In front of the bedroom door, Yakian stopped her back, leaning against the cold wall as she clumsily adjusted her dress. After finishing all this, she finally took a deep breath and gripped the cold doorknob. "Baby, this kill is for you!" My excited voice echoed out from inside the room, passing through the cracked open door and landing clearly in her ears. Yakian's hand instantly froze on the doorknob. The blood in her body seemed to freeze in an instant, and in the next second it rushed straight to her head. The malicious words of the man in the bar were like the most poisonous curse, ironically coming true at this very moment. It turns out Chao Chen didn't have amnesia. He has been lying to her all along, using that innocent gaze carrying the shadow of a 20-year-old, using those seemingly warm actions to meticulously weave a massive lie. It turns out that where she couldn't see, Xiao Chen and Yuan, the Andean still maintained such an intimate connection, such an intimate pet name. Many years ago she had called Xiao Chen countless times in her dreams, hoping that one day Xiao Chen would also call her that. Xiao Chen had never called her that, not even once. Yet he called another woman thousands and tens of thousands of times. The jealousy of Z. Yaqian began to fret. The alcohol in her system had worn off a bit, and at this moment, mixed with towering rage, the humiliation of being deceived was like magma, erupting violently, instantly swallowing whatever was left of her rationality. Yet, she forcefully slammed the room door open. The warm and gentle light in the room spilled out, forming a vertical bar, stark contrast with the darkness of the hallway. I was half sitting, half lying on the headboard wearing earphones, my fingers still scrolling rapidly across the screen, clearly startled by this sudden loud noise as I abruptly raised my head. On my face there was still a lingering, relaxed smile from interacting with my gaming buddy just now. Xie Yaqian's cheeks were unusually flushed red, and in her eyes was a mix of fierceness and despair that I had never seen before. Her usual cold and polite appearance had completely vanished, like a severely wounded beast. She stared intently at me, her lips trembling for a long time, before squeezing out a question filled with a choking sob. Chao Chen. Are you lying to me? You didn't lose your memory at all, did you? I sat up straight in confusion. What am I lying to you about? I've never lied to you. Not lying to me? She walked in step by step, her high heels clicking on the floor, each step looking like walking on sharp knives. Then who were you calling baby just now? Was it you and the Andean, right? You've been faking it all along. Faking memory loss, faking being good, and faking that you only rely on me while behind my back you're still tangled up, with her refusing to let go. Only now did I finally understand. Between crying and laughing, I held up my phone. Are you talking about this tar? This is my gaming teammate Cha, a guy. I just got a pentakill and called him baby to celebrate. What on earth are you imagining? Xie Yaqian's steps abruptly stopped. Her intoxication cleared up by half, and the fire of rage in her eyes gradually froze, turning into sheer astonishment. She stared blankly at the game interface on my phone screen, and then looked at my innocent expression. The flush on her cheeks instantly faded, turning deathly pale. I lowered my voice. Xie Yaqian, I know what you're afraid of. You're afraid I'll remember Yuan Diandian. The person who previously did everything dead or alive for Yuan Diandian wasn't me, but a puppet controlled by the plot. My current memory stops at age 20. I only remember that we've been sworn enemies from childhood until now. She turned her face away, her shoulders trembling slightly, refusing to look at me. But she didn't argue back either. I got off the bed and walked up to her. The person who previously did everything dead or alive for Yuan Diandian wasn't me, but a puppet controlled by the plot. My current memory stops at age 20. I only remember that we've been sworn enemies from childhood until now. Like the time I won first place at the sports meet but injured my leg. It was you who carried me to the school infirmary, scolding me the whole way, yet you held my hand tightly, not daring to press too hard. I remember the old you, sharp-tongued but soft-hearted. When I was short on an allowance, your mouth said no. But the moment you turned around, you stuffed money in my pocket. I remember you said that even if all the men in the world died, you would never like me. Those were just words said in anger. I know. I reached out and gently wiped away the tear on her face. My movements clumsy, yet sincere. For the past half-month, I've seen it very clearly. Your mouth says you're locking me up with a gold chain. Afraid I'll run away, afraid I'll get hurt. But you gave me the absolute best life. You gave up an important bidding session for me, and even though you knew I might be faking it, you still rushed to my side every single time. Xie Yaqian, you aren't a villain. You are just the silliest, worst protector in this world. She suddenly raised her head, her tears falling onto the back of my hand, scalding hot. Are you really not going to look for Yuan Diandian again? Why would I look for her? A person who keeps mooching off me, using me, stepping on me and the ZA Corporation to climb up, while refusing to ever give me a single sincere word. Something would have to be wrong with my brain for me to mess with her again. The person from before wasn't me. Right now, I am myself. I'll only stay away from trash, Host, you're awesome. The misunderstanding is finally resolved. I ignored the system, gently pulling Z, Yakian's hand leading her over to sit on the side of the bed. For the things in the past on behalf of that person, I apologize to you. He made you suffer grievances for 6 years, making you unable to sleep peacefully night after night, making you clearly like me, yet only able to use confinement as a way to keep me around. It was his fault for letting you down. But I promise you, from this day forward, Chen will never let Jie Yakian shed another single tear. Jie Yakian threw herself into my arms, tightly hugging my waist and burying her face into the crook of my neck. The grievances suppressed for 6 years finally burst out, and she cried like a child. I gently patted her back, my heart filled with deep pity. Jie Yakian's so-called confinement was never about control, but about salvation. If she hadn't watched over my every step, the me controlled by the plot would have passed away long ago during those moments of self-harm and despair. She used the most clumsy, most stubborn method to protect this life of mine. In the future, don't use chains to lock me up anymore. I won't run away. If you're afraid wherever I go, I'll take you along, follow you to work, and be by your side when off work, never leaving you for a lifetime. She raised her tear-rimmed red eyes, smiling as she asked, really, realer than gold. Moreover, I will also work hard to help you manage the Z Corporation. Previously, I was a burden to you, but in the future, I will be your strongest backing. That night, for the first time, we didn't sleep 1 meter apart. I held her and she leaned into my chest, falling into a peaceful sleep. No tossing and turning. No waking up startled in the middle of the night, the next morning. When Jie Yakian woke up, she was still a bit shy, her ears blushing red. I intentionally teased her President Xi, who was crying like a baby yesterday. She glared at me, but without the coldness from before. You're not allowed to mention it. After waking up, I directly told the bodyguards to clear away all the gold chains in the house. In the future, I will use my sincere heart to bind you, which is more secure than anything else. In the days that followed, I completely immersed myself into practical work. From the beginning, when I couldn't even understand a report, to later on gradually following Jie Yakian to learn business knowledge and handle company affairs, I made progress very rapidly. When Jie Yakian taught me, she was very patient, and I was exceptionally focused, only wanting to help her share the pressure so she wouldn't have to carry everything alone anymore. As for Yuan Diandian, she ultimately had to pay the price for her greed and selfishness. The government bidding project failed, and she not only failed to receive investment capital from the Qi family, but also owed a massive debt. Her shares in the Yuan Corporation were mortgaged. Her father, who always valued profit over family affection, seeing that she had completely lost her footing, immediately stripped away all her power in the company to elevate his other children. Yuan Diandian was alienated by everyone, her past glory vanishing like mist. In the end, she could only quietly leave the city, no longer capable of making any more waves. When I heard this news, I only smiled faintly. Karma is real. Her ending was built step by herself. She can't blame anyone else. When Gunyanian came to the Xi house again, seeing me and Z, Yakian sitting next to each other on the sofa, with me peeling a tangerine for her while she leaned on my shoulder reading documents. A peaceful and quiet scene. She was so shocked that she almost spat out the tea in her mouth. Oh my God, Chao Chen. You've really completely changed, Ma. Before there was only Yuan Diandian in your eyes, but now your eyes are full of our Yakian. Not bad, not bad. You finally figured things out. Jie Yakian gently pushed Gunyanian. Don't talk nonsense. I took hold of Jie Yakian's hand, saying seriously before my eyesight was bad. But now I see clearly who is truly worth treasuring. Host, the Phase 1 mission has been successfully completed. All health indicators have met the standard. Phase 2 mission. Protecting Jie Yakian has been activated. The mystery gift box reward has been sent. Open to obtain the buff husband and wife with one mind. In the future, you two will be completely in sync. There will never be misunderstandings again, haha. Day after day, my weight gradually returned to normal, no longer looking scrawny and sickly like before. My whole being was bursting with high spirits, and the relationship between me and Z, Yakian, also grew deeper day by day. From a pair of bickering enemies, from childhood, since then we became the people who are irreplaceable in each other's lives. Under our joint management, the Z Corporation developed better and better day by day, its territory constantly expanding to become the leading enterprise in the city. The shareholders who once doubted Xie now have nothing but endless praise for me. One weekend, I took Xie back to our old university campus. Walking on the familiar paths, watching the students passing by made it feel like we were back to being 20 years old. I stopped my steps, looked at Xie seriously, and got down on one knee, taking out a diamond ring from my pocket. This is the ring I bought with the very first money I earned myself. Xie at 20 years old, I sprained my leg, and you supported me as we walked along this path. At 26 years old, I want to hold your hand and walk through the rest of our lives. Our marriage before was out of spite of salvation and accident, but right now I want to marry you because I love you. Will you marry me, Z? Yakian's eyes welled with tears as she nodded fiercely, choking up, I do. I slid the diamond ring onto her ring finger, stood up and held her close. From now on, there are no more sworn enemies, only me and my wife, never leaving or abandoning each other for a lifetime, growing old together. Host, the final mission has been completed. The grand prize, growing old together, has been activated. Wishing you and Xie a lifetime of happiness, peace, and smooth sailing. I held the person in my arms, my heart filled with absolute contentment. Previously, I used to think I was a puppet trapped inside a web novel, my fate already predetermined to end up in a tragedy. But now I know, as long as you stay true to yourself and treasure a sincere heart, you can break free from any chains and live the way you want. Xie used 6 years of stubbornness and protection just to wait for the real me. I will use the rest of my life with tenderness and companionship to repay her for all the grievances and the long wait. In the quiet of the night, I looked at Z, Yakian fast asleep beside me, and gently kissed her forehead. In this lifetime, being able to marry you is the greatest fortune for me, Chao Chen. From now on, the snowstorms are you, the peace is you, poverty is you, prosperity is you, the tender heart. At the bottom of my soul is you, and where my eyes gaze is also you.